And could you imagine training for 1,000 years to learn a skill that's hard to master? And a 15-year-old comes along and learns that shit in 3 days? Nah, this Chucky Finster wannabe is gonna have to run my ones. So Ichigo is trying his best to copy Piccolo's aura farming nature, as he tells Renji that he's gonna beat his ass. But Renji, not taking that level of disrespect from a literal 15-year-old, starts to jump in the air and clashes swords with Ichigo, pushing our protagonist back. So Ichigo tries his best to cut Renji, but Renji just jumps over him and all of a sudden, he has a cut on his right shoulder. Renji starts talking absolute mess to Ichigo, and Ichigo, trying to save some aura points, tries to cut Renji again. Renji brings out Zabimaru to cut Ichigo's other shoulder. And just as Renji's about to end the fight, Rukia comes out of nowhere, stopping Renji from killing our protagonist, showing us that even without powers, she's more useful than Sakura. So Ichigo gets up and Renji is feeling the menacing aura, as Ichigo comes out of nowhere cutting Renji. But he's not done, as Ichigo runs towards Renji and sends him flying into the air. Bro is getting his ass beat so bad that his receding hairline starts to show. Could never be me. Ichigo starts disrespecting Renji, telling him that he's become slower than before. So Renji, trying to not look weak in front of his bae, tries to attack Ichigo. But Ichigo just kicks that shit away. And look at this sadistic ass smile. I know Ichigo is listening to King Von at this moment. So Ichigo is genuinely putting the fear of God into Renji and is about to end the fight, until his sword gets broken by Byakuya. Nah, bro finally pulls up after his lieutenant was getting his ass beat by a 15-year-old. Byakuya doesn't care about his subordinates. Ichigo tries to fight Byakuya, but Byakuya flash steps beside Ichigo, making Ichigo pass out. Byakuya had to be wearing Axe body spray to make Ichigo pass out just by walking past him. Rukia backdoors Ichigo, leaving our protagonist to die. But Kisuke, being the goat that he is, comes to save the day as per usual. And after a training montage from Ichigo and the squad, they head to the Soul Society. And peep the way this guy is built. Bro, what the hell did they be feeding him? Lions? Bro is in the wrong profession. Ichigo just beats him without even trying, like he always does. And after this, he encounters Captain Jin. He stops the squad from coming inside. And now they have to find an alternative way to get in, which they do. And after this, Ichigo fights Saitama from One Punch Man and wins easily. And then we get Ichigo versus Renji round 2. So these two clash swords, and Ichigo, being the dog that he is, pushes Renji back. And after a bit of a yab session, Renji summons Zabimaru and pushes Ichigo away from him, sending him into a wall. Ichigo comes out of the wall, bleeding from the head, likely suffering from CTE. So Renji tries to hit Ichigo again, but Ichigo just dodges that shit. Renji is getting fed up with Ichigo's buffoonery right now, as he tries to hit Ichigo again. But Ichigo is weaving that shit like Prime Mayweather. And just as you think Ichigo's about to get the drop on Renji, he sidesteps that shit and gives Ichigo the Zoro treatment. As Renji's about to end the fight again, Ichigo's plot armor activates as he locks in, giving Renji PTSD at the last fight. Ichigo jumps up into the air trying to attack Renji, but Renji sees this from a mile away and swings Zabimaru. But unfortunately for Renji, he's slow as shit, as Ichigo dodges it. Then Ichigo lifts up his sword in the air, oozing spiritual energy as he breaks Renji's sword, sending him back, completely turning Renji into an irrelevant character from now on. Bro had so much potential. After Ichigo fights Kenpachi, he trains to learn Bankai. And could you imagine training for 1,000 years to learn a skill that's hard to master? And a 15-year-old comes along and learns that shit in 3 days? Nah, this Chucky Finster wannabe is gonna have to run my ones. So anyways, Rukia is about to get executed, and Ichigo comes out of nowhere, aura farming like crazy. And when Rukia is saved, we get Ichigo versus Byakuya round 2. You can tell Ichigo is feeding to get his lick back. So the fight starts and Byakuya already has the upper hand on Ichigo, turning this man into Nate Robinson, until Ichigo locks in and starts to reveal his Bankai. And I'm not gonna lie, he got that shit on though. As Ichigo wastes no time showing off his speed, even Byakuya's surprised. So Byakuya throws these flower petals and Ichigo toys with him. Byakuya's next course of action is to suffocate Ichigo, but Ichigo cuts through them shits like paper. Then he flash steps behind Byakuya, making him give the "he's right behind me, isn't he" face. So Ichigo tries to stab Byakuya, but he catches that shit with his bare hands. I'm not gonna lie, he definitely earned my respect with this. So after this, Ichigo starts to lose control as his hollow comes out, slashing Byakuya, and he turns Byakuya into a straight bitch. Bro is stuck in the fade running. I'd run too if someone had a personality change mid-fight. After Ichigo gains control of himself, they start to charge at each other, making the brightest light imaginable. As the dust settles, both fighters are standing, and Byakuya runs away, giving Ichigo the dub. Surely he won't encounter any more threats in the future, right?